Guys, this is your host Alistair, and today's title is I didn't lose my leg that day, but I lost my wife. And guys, some stories are hard to tell, but they're even harder to live through. And this is yet again another story of hardship, another story of cheating, another story of how this guy has suffered and not just lost his leg, but lost his life as well and wife as well. Let's move on to the narration now.
I didn't lose my leg that day, but I lost my wife. That was the first thought that hit me when I woke up. The hospital ceiling was wide, too wide, the kind of wide that makes you feel small. Machines beeped around me. My body felt heavy, like someone had poured cement into my bones. I tried to move my right arm. Pain shot through me, so sharp I almost screamed. That's when I remembered the warehouse, the broken lift cable, the sound of metal snapping. Then nothing. A nurse adjusted my IV. "You're lucky to be alive," she said softly. Lucky? I didn't feel lucky. The door opened later that evening and Lillian walked in. She looked beautiful. She always did. Her long brown hair fell over her shoulders. Her lips pressed tight like she was holding back the words she didn't want to say. For a moment I felt relief. She came. "Hey," I whispered. My voice sounded weak, like not mine. She gave me a small smile. "Hey." She didn't rush to my side, didn't grab my hand. She stood near the window first, like she needed space from the smell of the medicine and fear. "You scared me," she said, finally. "I scared myself." I tried to joke. "Guess I wanted a break from work." She didn't laugh. That was first sign. She moved closer and gently touched my fingers. Her hand felt warm, but her touch felt careful, distant. "What did the doctor say?" she asked. "Fractured ribs, torn ligaments, surgery tomorrow." I tried to keep my voice steady. "They say I'll walk again, just not any time soon." She nodded slowly, too slowly. Silence filled the room. Heavy silence, the kind that used to turn into kisses between us, the kind that once led to her pulling me close and whispering that we could handle anything. But this silence felt different. "I don't know if I can do this," she said suddenly. "Do what?" I asked. "This? Hospital life, the stress, the waiting, the not knowing." I looked at her confused. "Lil, it's temporary." She shook her head. "You don't understand. I can't breathe in places like this. I can't sleep thinking about surgeries and bills and and watching you in pain." I tried to sit up straighter, even though it hurt. "I'm the one in bed, and I'm the one watching you in it," she snapped, then softened. "I'm sorry. I'm not that strong." That almost made me laugh. Strong? I couldn't even lift a glass of water. "You once told me," I said quietly, "that marriage means standing together." She gave me a weak smile. "Right now, you can't even stand." The words hung in the air. I knew she didn't mean them the way they sounded, but they still cut deep. She leaned down and kissed my forehead. It wasn't the slow, warm kiss she used to give me when we woke up on Sunday mornings. It was quick, careful. "I'll come tomorrow," she said. I believed her. The next day came. She didn't. Surgery was a blur of lights and cold air. When I woke up again, my chest was wrapped tight, my leg in a brace. I asked the nurse if my wife had called. She checked. "No calls today." Maybe she was busy, I told myself. The next day passed, then another. My phone sat on the table beside me. No messages, no missed calls. I tried calling her, straight to voicemail. "Hey," I said after the beep, trying to sound normal. "Guess you're busy. Surgery went fine. Doctor says I'll need months of therapy. But I'll be on my feet. You'll see. Back on my feet." Even I heard the double meaning. Days turned into weeks. She finally texted. "I'm sorry. I just can't handle this right now. I need space." Space? I stared at the message until the screen went dark. We used to joke that we couldn't survive one night apart, that we needed each other like oxygen. Now she needed space. The physical pain was nothing compared to that message. Physical therapy started while I was still in the hospital. The therapist helped me sit up, helped me move my leg an inch at a time. Push, he said. I am, I gritted. No, he replied calmly. You're surviving. I need you to fight. Fight. I thought about Lillian every time I tried to stand with the walker, my hands shaking, sweat rolling down my back. The first time I managed 3 steps, I almost collapsed, not because of pain, but because she wasn't there to see it. At night, I would remember our bedroom at home, the soft lamplight, the way she used to curl against my chest, tracing circles on my skin. You're my safe place, she once whispered. Now the hospital bed felt safer than my marriage. Bills began arriving. I asked the hospital's social worker about insurance. She mentioned compensation since the accident happened at work. You should speak with a lawyer, she advised. I hesitated. Lillian always handles the finances. I trusted her with everything. But now I wasn't sure what everything even meant. So I made a call, not to my wife, to an attorney. His voice was calm, direct. He asked clear questions, told me not to sign anything without legal review. You need to protect yourself, he said. Protect myself? I realized something painful then. I had been protecting our marriage for years, carrying the weight, paying the bills, working overtime. And the moment I couldn't carry it alone, she dropped it. 2 weeks later, I was discharged. My brother came to pick me up, not Lillian. When I rolled into the house, it felt quiet. Too quiet. Her shoes were gone, half her closet was empty. On the kitchen counter, a note. I need time to think. I'm staying with a friend. Don't try to fix this. I need to breathe. I sat there in my wheelchair for a long time. Then I did something unexpected. I smiled. Not because it didn't hurt, but because something inside me shifted. If she needed space, I would give it to her. If she couldn't handle the weight, I would learn to carry it differently, alone. And as I looked around the silent house, I made a quiet promise to myself. The next time I stand on my own 2 feet, it won't be for someone who walked away when I couldn't. The first night alone in the house was louder than the hospital machines. Every room echoed. The kitchen clock ticked like it was counting down something I didn't understand yet. I rolled myself to the bedroom door and stopped. Half the closet was empty. Her perfume still lingered in the air, soft and sweet like a memory that refused to leave. I didn't cry. I thought I would. Instead, I lay back on the bed and stared at the ceiling. If you can't stand for me, I whispered to the empty room, I'll learn to stand with you. The next morning, physical therapy started at rehab center across the town. My brother drove me the first week. After that, I insisted on arranging rides myself. Pride can be painful, but it's better than pity. Therapy was brutal. Every stretch felt like my muscles were tearing again. Every attempt to put weight on my leg felt like stepping into broken glass. Breathe through it, the therapist said. I am breathing, I snapped once. No, she replied gently. You're holding everything in. She wasn't talking about my leg. Each session ended the same way, me drenched in sweat, jaw tied, refusing to quit. At night, I opened the laptop for the first time in years. I logged into our joint bank accounts. What I saw made my stomach twist. Credit card balances higher than I expected. Online shopping charges I didn't recognize. A small saving account I didn't know existed. Opened in her name only. I stared at the numbers. 4 years I worked overtime, took extra shifts, told myself it was for us. Now I wasn't sure who us had really been. The attorney, Mr. Cadwell, called one afternoon. I've reviewed your workplace case, he said. There's strong negligence evidence. You're entitled to significant compensation. How significant? I asked. He mentioned a number. I was silent. It wasn't just money, it was security, stability, a second chance. There's something else, he continued. Given your marital situation, I strongly recommend structuring the settlement under your name only. Legally, it's cleaner since the injury directly impacts your future earning capacity. My wife is currently living elsewhere, he said calmly. Protect yourself first. Protect yourself first. That phrase stayed with me. Weeks passed. My leg grew stronger. I moved from wheelchair to crutches, from crutches to cane. The first time I stood in front of the bathroom mirror without support, I almost didn't recognize myself. I looked thinner, sharper, not just physically, emotionally. I remembered nights with Lillian when we would laugh in the kitchen, dancing badly while pasta boiled over, the way she used to pull me close and whisper, "You're my favorite place to fall." Funny. She fell away when I needed her the most. One evening, my phone buzzed. Her name flashed on the screen. My heart betrayed me. It still jumped. I answered. "Hey," she said softly. "Hey." Silence. "I heard you're doing better," she added. "I'm standing," I replied. "That's good." Another pause. "How are you?" I asked. "I've just been thinking." "About what?" "About how hard everything got. About how I felt like I was drowning." I leaned back in the chair. "You weren't the one under the falling metal." "I know," she said quickly. "That's not what I mean." "What do you mean, Lil?" "I felt invisible, like everything was about your job, your hours, your stress." I almost laughed at the irony. "I was working for us. I didn't ask you to break yourself for us, but you enjoyed what it gave you," I said quietly. She didn't respond. The silence said enough. "We rushed into marriage," she whispered. "Maybe we never learned how to stand on our own." I looked down at my healing leg. "I'm learning now." We hung up without saying goodbye. The night, instead of replaying her voice, I reviewed the documents: medical reports, legal drafts, settlement structures. For the first time, I wasn't reacting. I was planning. 2 months changes a man. Not overnight, but inch by inch. I could walk without the cane now. Slowly but steady. My body felt like it belonged to me again. And something else returned too. Confidence. Not loud, not proud. Quiet. The kind that doesn't beg. I started cooking again, cleaning, reorganizing the house. I sold things that we didn't need. Closed joint credit cards, moved funds under legal advice. Not revenge, just clarity. Meanwhile, Lillian's messages became more frequent. "How's therapy? Are you eating okay? Do you need anything?" Need. That word used to define us. Now it felt different. One afternoon, she showed up at the house unannounced. I opened the door. She looked smaller somehow, less certain. "You look good," she said, eyes scanning me. "Feels good," I replied. She stepped inside slowly. The tension between us wasn't anger anymore. It was unfamiliar space. "I miss this place," she said, touching the kitchen counter. "You left it." "I left the stress," she corrected, "and I was part of it." Her eyes softened. I was scared. So was I. She stepped closer. For a second, I thought she might reach for me the way she used to, fingers sliding into my shirt, pulling me into a slow kiss. Instead, she hesitated. "I didn't know how to love you when you were weak," she admitted. The honesty hurt more than lies. "I didn't know love had conditions," I replied calmly. She swallowed. We stood inches apart, close enough to feel the warmth, far enough to know something had changed. 3 days later, the settlement was approved. The final number was even higher than expected. Cadwell called first. "It's done," he said. "Funds will be transferred within the week." I thanked him. Then my phone buzzed again. Lillian. Her voice sounded different this time, brighter. "I just heard from someone at the warehouse," she said carefully, "about the settlement." I didn't answer right away. "That's amazing news," she continued. "I'm so proud of you." Proud. Interesting timing. "We should talk," she added quickly. "Really talk? Maybe dinner, like before?" Before. Before she walked out. Before I learned to walk alone. She arrived that evening wearing the blue dress I once told her was dangerous, the one that made it hard to think straight. She stepped close, brushing her fingers along my chest. "You look strong," she murmured. "I am." "I was foolish," she whispered. "I see that now. We can start fresh. No stress, no pressure." "No abandonment?" I asked gently. She flinched. I panicked. "And if life gets hard again?" "It won't," she said quickly. I almost smiled at that. Life always gets hard again. We sat across from each other at the dining table. No anger, just truth. The settlement, she began carefully. It belongs to us, right? I held her gaze. It belongs to the man who was under that steel. Her face shifted. We're married, yes, I said calmly. But when I couldn't walk, you did. She opened her mouth, then closed it. The settlement was structured under my name only, I continued, on legal advice. Her eyes widened. You planned this. I protected myself. Silence. I came back because I love you, she said weakly. Maybe, I replied, but you stayed away when love required strength. Tears filled her eyes. For a second, my heart twisted. I remembered our laughter, our late night kisses, the way she used to say I was her home. But homes don't leave when storm hits. I don't hate you, I said softly. I just learned something. What? That I can survive what tried to break me? She reached for my arm. I let her touch it, then gently pulled away. The next time I stand beside someone, I said quietly, it will be with someone who doesn't step back when I fall. She cried. I didn't, because I already mourned us weeks ago. As she walked towards the door, I felt something strange. Not pain, peace. The door closed behind her, and for the first time since the accident, I didn't feel abandoned. I felt free. I didn't lose my leg that day. I lost the illusion that love survives without courage. And sometimes the strongest thing a man can do is stand alone. If the story touched your heart, consider subscribing because sometimes the quietest strength tells the loudest stories.